Hey everyone, it is Joanne Phillips with Let's Talk About It, and
Tammy Warner.
hope everybody's great. Today is actually Tuesday. We're recording on Tuesday, and it's snowing.
Like a son of a gun right now.
Yeah, so, it's snowing, but spring is right around the corner. Looks like it might be close to 60 next week.
Oh, really?
hmm
Oh, yes.
So, we're gonna do a little housekeeping first. We're gonna give you an itinerary of what's on our agenda for today. Be sure to like, follow, and share our page in our
Please.
videos. The more people that see it, the better. Also, again, topics, not people, no personal attacks. Prefer that no one
Facts.
prefer that no one uses anyone's name, quite honestly.
True. If they have a
Um,
position, use the position that they're in. If you
yeah.
need to say, it just makes things easier. Again, we really, really, really want this page to be only about facts and things that are beneficial to move in the right direction with this town and our community.
I mean, and opinions matter, right?
Yep.
Opinions matter. Well, let's try not to be mean.
And
And
I think people
listen,
don't hear you when it goes to that.
well, and the other thing
Immediately,
is
the people you want to hear you anyway, turn it off immediately. They don't want to hear it.
in fact is, I mean, like Tammy said last week, if we can do it, you can do it.
Yeah.
And it's difficult. I mean, I had one of my children say to me, "You got to figure out a way to talk about this without sounding like Joanna." What does that mean?
Good luck.
Yeah, yeah. Trying to be diplomatic. So
Mhm.
quick itinerary of what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about highway department, in fear of retaliation, wasteful spending, supervisor having carte blanche to sign everything without board approval, a certain amount of money before things go out to public vote, in our opinion, confidential what the board can and can't talk about publicly, annexing West Lebanon, the feasibility study. So let's get to it. Let's talk about the highway department. I am just like
I just
beside
don't
myself.
understand how, it can be in the situation that it's in right now and it not be a main focus right now to get everything back up and running properly because it's affecting more than just that it again it's another thing that problem isn't just their problem, it's everybody's problem.
hmm Granted, I know that we're still waiting on some,
Right.
insurance documents and stuff, but rest assured, if the town hall had been on fire, boy, it would be that would be things would be snapping and cracking. But yes, I know that there are some things that the insurance company still has to do. I was thinking about this just before we went live here. It's not really live, but it's live to us. Is that I want to look at other towns and see how much of their budget is actually for the highway department. Um, a lot of times the highway department gets sadly, oh, you're spending all our money. Well, they have a lot of responsibility. Again, the most important department in
Yeah.
any town is the highway department. And I feel like ours is not.
No, no, it
And it's
doesn't feel that.
sad. The amount of stress on our highway guys, I'm going to cough.
It's immense.
Our highway superintendent, the mental stress alone, also knowing that this winter, I'm positive will be over budget, right? And worrying about money. And
It's
now the
so
money
much
that
bad weather.
and the money ain't, well, and then, we have next winter this year to
Yep.
worry about in this budget
Yep.
too, right? The amount of money that we now are spending to have trucks repaired because we can't do that.
In her own garage. Yep.
He can't do that in his own garage now. There was some conversation in email, I think, in regards to, hey, can we put some of the town equipment in the community center? Let's be honest, we all knew that wasn't going to happen. But the response was that there were some modifications done. So no, that's not possible. I don't know what those, I cannot speak firsthand of the modifications. I've never been on that side of the building since it's been the community center.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been over there either.
I just, I just want everyone to support the highway department and what our
Hmm.
highway superintendent and their guys are going through right now. I mean, they're busting their asses, and
They go right down the road right now.
yeah, I mean, it's crazy, and the winter's not over.
And they are busting their butt. That those, I mean, I live right next to the town hall, right next to the town garage. So trust me, I hear them, I see them, and more than I, and to be completely honest, more than I ever did prior. And this is not slamming anybody or anything, but there's constant, work going on. They're constantly doing something. It's because, they go up and down the road here a lot. I mean, they're always doing something, and to not
Right.
have their facility workable is has got to be just,
I
I mean,
mean, they're using a porta potty right now,
right.
right? So they don't try. I mean, I'm sure that they could use the town hall facilities, but they don't want to track in the mud and everything off of their feet. And
Courteous.
I'm just literally beside myself, and I just really hope that we can all rally around the highway department.
Absolutely, 100%.
And I pray that the town board does everything in their power to get this up and running ASAP as soon as we get what we need from the insurance department.
Yes, because again, it's costing us money that shouldn't be have to be spent. Them having, to send these vehicles out to be repaired because they can't repair them in our own facility, it's costing us money. So if we want to, talk about reining in funds, well, let's
Again, we
move.
have no contingency money, we have no emergency money.
Let's move.
It's sad.
Hmm.
Okay, next subject is, I've heard this. This is a little disturbing. Tammy and I talked about this because we talk on the phone, so we know what the hell we're talking about. Um,
It helps.
yeah, it's helpful. It's disturbing to me that so many people are afraid to speak up, and I'm talking employees,
Yep.
because they're afraid of retaliation. Um,
And there you go. Again, the discussion of HR and HR not being the supervisor and the board that solely agrees with her on everything. It needs to be a more impartial person.
the
If there
majority of the
was,
board, let's
right,
say that, the
yes, the
majority of the board.
majority, there needs to be an impartial person. These people, that's proof right there that what we have right now isn't working. If people are afraid to speak up, they should not be afraid to speak up. They should be allowed to speak up without worrying that something's going to be done or something's going to happen or they may lose their job or whatever their fears may be. That's absolutely ridiculous, and that just proves that we should not have the board as HR.
Well, the board is not HR. They decided to keep it the supervisor.
Right, the supervisor, sorry, to keep it the way it is.
So, I mean, and this is not hearsay. I've heard it out of at least three people's mouths to me. And it's sad that we're afraid of retaliation. You should be able to, actually, four people. Um, it's sad. So,
Tell me that that's right in any way, shape, or form. Any way, shape, or form. If that was anyone and you were at your job or what, and that's how you felt, you would have a problem.
yes. Yes, for sure.
So that's a problem. And it should be addressed. People should feel heard. They shouldn't feel that their words are going to cost them anything. I mean, it's childish. It's just childish behavior.
Be heard. I mean,
Yeah.
look at privilege of the floor.
True. True. That's another thing. Again, with privilege of the floor, we stand by. You either answer them all or you don't answer any.
Well,
Because
even
the
more
picking and
importantly, you
yeah,
got people talking, you got people on their phone
yeah,
and
and not paying attention and doing their own thing, rude.
disrespectful.
Yep, disrespectful, and where do we go? Where do we go? It just shows that things are not working the right way.
I think the other thing too is when you're being live streamed, and I don't care if it's a committee, if it's a board meeting, be consciously aware
Yes.
of what you're saying and how you're acting. And I will go back to two business committee meetings that I watched. In one of those meetings, the Gallup-in was shit talked. I mean, and this is, you know, that bar has been here longer than most of
Right.
those people on
Yep.
that committee.
Yep.
And the
Exactly.
other
It
one
has.
was there is a local business owner that on live stream was shit talking another business owner. And that is why I will never step foot in that facility. I won't, because that's disrespectful. You're supposed to be helping businesses. So y'all just need to be consciously aware of what's being said and what the optics. I mean, the optics are
You
terrible.
don't think you control it, then you better sit somewhere where nobody's going to see you.
Yeah. I
Because,
mean,
I mean,
I agree.
remember, we all have a right to see these things. And if you're going to, do those things, then that really sets an opinion in people's
Again,
mind.
I mean, not that I'm anybody, but I will not step a foot in that establishment
And I
ever.
can understand that
I
point
will
of
never
view.
spend a
Yes.
dime in there. You
Yep.
don't, as a business owner, you don't shit talk another business owner. It was really disturbing. And of course, the conversation about the Gallup-in it was during COVID
Yeah, well, I'm sure it's,
or
the
after.
Gallup-in doesn't fit the standards of,
Right,
but that's fine. It's not there to fit their standards.
right. And it was very, of course, it's very personal to me. And of
Right.
course, I'm hypersensitive about it, but don't do
I have
that.
many years of wonderful, wonderful, wonderful memories. I will cherish them forever, every single one of them that I had at the Gallup-in.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And guess
Absolutely. It
what?
was a
It's still
very
there.
joyful season of my life that I spent there, with working at OTB. And, I mean, again, it's still there, still there. Was there
And
long
then,
before I knew.
yeah, no. God, I remember when it started over, where was it? Not where was it where the post office is or just on the other side of that? That was a long time ago. That was when the bowling alley was still open. Oh,
Oh yeah, I don't know
wrecking
about
the
that.
joint. All right, let's talk about wasting money. I've spent a lot of time, even last night, I was actually looking to find out how much we paid for the feasibility study. We'll go back to that after, but I was really looking at, again, the money. Okay, so long story short, when I was looking up the community center
Mhm.
expenses for 2025, a lot of food items kept getting brought up, and I spoke to some previous board members who mentioned that quite a few of those food items were spent personally reimbursing a person for food that they made for the
Or
potluck dinner.
a potluck where everybody brought food. I don't think everybody that brought food felt that they needed to be reimbursed for their ingredients and what they paid for to bring and share with the community. So to me, that right there, and,
Red
and a
flag.
lot may say, oh, it was just this amount, little amount, and this little amount. I don't care. This little amount and this little amount and this little amount tacked onto this bigger amount for something else all adds up. All adds up.
And how many other things are happening.
Exactly.
See, and that's
Exactly.
my problem is we're not
If
seeing.
someone feels that entitled for that, I mean, that should seriously make people stop and take note. Who? It's a potluck. Everybody's bringing.
So
Everybody's
does that mean
bringing.
anybody that makes food can submit a receipt for their
Right?
money?
Right? It just seems ridiculous to me. Ridiculous to me. I
And it
brought
wasn't
things
just
to
one
events
off.
that I never even went to, but I still brought or gave things. I didn't ask anybody for any reimbursement. I did that. It
Yeah.
just seems very,
And like I said, it wasn't a one off. It wasn't just a
yeah,
one-time
just
thing.
not just one time. So
It, and that's part of the problem is we don't see the backup, like bills to be paid. You see the abstract, but you don't see what's actually being paid. And not that it would necessarily say, that it was to a certain person. It could be. Look, I just think it's wrong.
from
It's wrong.
It makes no sense
Like,
at
what the
all.
hell are we doing?
I mean, write it down, read it out loud. Potluck, everybody brings something. But this person, we as a town are going to pay you for your ingredients.
It's
No,
weird.
it makes zero sense.
So, you could go through that budget. I mean, and the things that we spend money on, like to me, in my opinion, is wasteful. And I think that we really need, I would hope that this budget season, it's going to be a tight budget season this year. It's going to be tight. I'm not really sure how we're going to balance the budget, but that's not my job. And
Thank you, baby Jesus.
thank you, baby Jesus. Listen, the thing was, is I had a lot of people pushing me to run for town supervisor rather than the town board.
I was one of them.
It's a
I
lot.
said it many times. Yeah, definitely, you know.
The problem with that position is no matter who's in there, you're gonna get a lot of hate.
It comes with a lot of garbage. However, another thing, though, which was a good thing you didn't run this time for, because truthfully, when it boils right down to it, what we're seeing now,
It's a
I would wait
mess.
until they all this is figured what's going on, what's where, what's, where we end up at the end of everything. So you've got a starting point, or so whoever.
The most important thing for me was like the whole county stuff. If it was just dealing with town stuff and not having to go to a county meeting, once a month, I mean, and that's all you really have to do, where our current supervisor is more involved in that, right? Listen, I just have a hard time leaving the house. I'm getting out more, though. I will
You
say
are. You're getting out more than I am lately.
yeah, so I am getting out more, but just the
I'm
thought of
supposed to go
deal
to Plant Bingo though Thursday with Brittany and John though, so
nice. And you and I should try to. I don't think that plant bingo has been very successful in the town of New Lebanon.
I don't think so.
So maybe you and I can kind of work on that a little bit.
Sure, we can work on something. Absolutely.
Because who doesn't love
Absolutely. Because
plants?
I we have a great time. We have a great time. We enjoy it a lot. It's a good time. And it's not, doesn't cost a lot of money. It's only $5, and they usually have some kind of little something to drink or, candy they'll put on the table. I've been bringing food for everybody because that's just how I roll. But it's a nice time. Everybody has a good time. It's laughs, and then when you get plants and things,
Who doesn't love a plant?
right?
So I just think that we really need to, I really hope that the town board kind of really tightens the belt this year.
Focuses on the things that really need the attention and not so many of the extras.
Well, and again,
Because the extras, I
2024,
think, have gotten us to where we are right now.
yeah,
Not
2024, we were
not where
600,000.
people are saying we are, the reality of where we are right now.
Smoke and mirrors. It's been
Right.
smoke and mirrors.
When you clear it all up, where we are right now.
2024, we were $600,000 in the hole. End of 2025, we were almost $1 million in the hole. So we're going backwards.
Yeah, not good. Not good.
In all fairness, well, I'll run those numbers. We'll talk about that. But based on that paperwork on the supervisor's report last month, we were almost $1 million in the hole at the end of December, and she had 264, but that's not correct because she's got the LVP, whoever has the LVPA in the general fund. It's a special fund, doesn't belong in there. Just like the library. I don't know why they have the library in the general fund. Absolutely not. It's
No.
it's it's a special fund, just like the LVPA. So
This
that put
town
us
is not in good shape.
no.
It's
And
not.
again, the misconception of, well, does that mean if I write a check, it'll bounce? No,
No.
no. It just means that we're using
Money we're
money
not supposed to be used for those
correct.
things.
Correct. So I just really hope that we could get our shit together.
Yes.
One of the things, and this came up because of the special meeting last week, um, the temporary bond, the BAN, that I think was closed on, it's closing this week. I know
Oh,
not,
okay.
yeah, the temporary bond for 100,000. I know that not all of the board members knew that that was happening before it was happening. Now, I'm sure there are some board members that did know,
But shouldn't all of them?
all of them. So what happens is we have a tendency to, not we, the boards have a tendency when there's a project involved to give the supervisor carte blanche to sign documents. And it's not illegal. It depends on what the resolution says. I'm sorry, I think that's a really big mistake.
I do too.
At the very least, give the boards a heads up. Let them know what's happening. I don't know. I just don't think it should happen. I think that there should be at least,
When it's something of that nature, when it's the money involved, yes, I think everybody should be aware of what's going on. These are the things. These are the things we were saying. Transparency. You know,
I mean, you're not even
why
letting your
are
board know.
members of the board not aware of this beforehand
Correct.
and not
A-
just right before the meeting?
And her response will be, well, the board gave me permission to do this.
And I think it's
The
time we
board
change that
needs to
because,
stop doing that.
yeah, again, let's everyone look where we are.
Yeah. And let's talk about contracts. I'm going to go back to a couple of things. It was a big contract last year. I can't remember what it was for. Yeah, so I'm not even gonna say. I think it might have been something to do with sidewalks, maybe, or the feasibility study or something. And Craig had questioned it because did our lawyer look at this?
Right.
Like, why is our lawyer not looking at contracts? But I'm gonna take it back to the contract that we accepted, the bid we accepted for the playground equipment that apparently didn't include any equipment. How did that happen? Are we
Right.
not reading contracts?
It,
Like
it, it
how
obviously had to have clearly explained in there what was included, and this is why the park didn't have the things aren't moving forward right now because they had to take another one of the other bids or what have you because this one fell through because
now we
it was
accepted
more than
those
we thought. But
bids.
how long was that contract in people's hands? How much was it read?
Well, hold up. Whose hands was the contract in?
Right.
So, because I know there was no supporting documents when they accepted, on the agenda when
No.
they accepted that bid, all there was a spreadsheet with numbers. I'm sorry, the board should get a contract copy of all of the contracts. They may not know what they're reading, but how does that happen? Because
How
that
does it
was
happen? This is who
those
was going to do it. This is what's done. And just recently now we realize that we can't we can't do that because it doesn't include
the equipment.
the equipment. Okay, we're now going into contract with another company, but the point is we just went how many months and we're just now
Figuring out it didn't include the equipment.
that it didn't include the equipment. I heard the conversations during the board meetings, and these are all a la carte, so they're extra. I remember the things that were
I
said.
read the original bid specs. There is the base product, and then there
Right,
was add-ons.
right. But it
But
was
this contract didn't even include the base
the
items.
right. So I don't understand how someone can say it included those things if it doesn't in the contract. How did you not know it didn't include those?
Are we just looking at numbers?
I don't understand.
Who's looking at the contract? It's a big problem. Like, what else are we missing?
Exactly, exactly. And this is what we've been saying. We're not saying that anything is being done purposely nefariously, but things need to be done in the proper way, the proper channels, all of those things. And we wouldn't be where we are.
And that's the problem. What is the proper channels when it comes to contracts? I mean, even for work that, and Joanne brought this up, when she was liaison last year. When we accepted bids for work in the park, there was no contracts. There was no start date. There was no finish date. There was no nothing.
Yeah, I don't
Our
understand how
HVAC, we
that's
didn't have a contract for. Why are we not doing contracts?
It's a good question.
Things that make you
You
go,
would think that's legally,
the right thing to do. I don't know.
yeah, it seems odd.
I don't know.
Mm-mm.
I also think, in speaking of contracts and grants and stuff, that, and I know this will never happen, but I firmly believe that anything that we're going to do that has a dollar amount higher than X, I'll say 100,000, which I think that's at this point $10, but
Yeah, right.
anything over a certain amount that it should automatically go out to referendum. And I know that there's rules on what can go out for referendum, but you've got five people deciding that we're going to take out a $500,000 bond, which is going to cost the taxpayers 150,000 or 125, whatever it is. You've got five people on a board that are okaying to spend 100 and whatever $1,000 of your money. The sidewalks, there was a lot of pushback from the supervisor. You can't go to a vote, can't go to a vote, can't go to a vote. Craig pushed it, pushed it, pushed it. Supervisor made it happen. That's $2.5 million with a 500,000 taxpayer. So I'm glad that went to a vote. It's crazy to me. Like, there's got to be a way that, I mean, I get it that you vote in people that you think are going to do the best thing for you, and for some people that is the best thing for them. But when you're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars of taxpayers' money, there's got to be a different
Right,
way.
right.
It's crazy.
And personally, it ends up feeling that only the higher bracket is okay with all these things. Okay, maybe you are fortunate enough where if that happens, ooh, it's okay with you. But you know what? There are more people in this community that don't have that luxury in life, that are living paycheck to paycheck, that are,
Barely getting by on
yes,
Social
barely getting
Security.
by, having to sit there and figure out, their bills for the week or whatever, or how much they have to spend on their groceries, as compared to the new electric bill that just came in, that's now, cutting into their already, very meager expense. So this is what people need to understand. If these people may think it's best for them, but is it best for you? And if you're not feel that you're not being spoken for, then you really, really, really need to think about that and get out and vote when it's time.
And that's the problem, right? So I'm going to interject here. This should have been the first thing that I said was, did you guys do your surveys? And if
There you
not, why
go. Yeah.
not? Because right now, we only have about 150 surveys that have been turned in. It is being extended until March 20th. If you're
Please,
okay
please.
with 150 people determining the future of the town through the comprehensive plan, fine, then don't do it. But if you don't do it and you don't like the outcome of the comprehensive plan and the footprint of where the town is going, don't bitch. I mean,
Right.
not to be an asshole, but don't bitch,
Right.
right? Same thing. If you want change, you got to get out and vote. Sidewalks went to a vote, majority won. You got to get out and vote. And if you don't, I get people are busy, right? I get it. So we're trying to give you like the overview. Craig is on talking to the town of what's going on so you can be kind of involved.
Mm-hmm.
But if you feel like your voice isn't being heard, then do something about it. I'm not okay with 150 people determining the future of the town. For the
No,
love of baby Jesus, get out there and do your survey. Do it.
exactly.
It's not great. It's 20 minutes of your time.
And again, these could be the people that, again, they can, a lot of these things wouldn't really affect them, but they may affect you, much, much more.
Just do the damn survey. If you need a hard copy, let me
Do
know.
the damn, sir.
Fill out the damn survey. All right,
You
so
don't
let's
want
see.
menopausal bitches coming door to door.
Yeah, exactly. Don't make me knock on your damn door.
Here we go.
Okay, so I just want to touch base on this supervisor signing authority. This is a different conversation. That's West Lebanon. That's West Lebanon. Let's talk about confidentiality and what the board members are allowed to talk about and what they're not allowed to talk about. Because this was a big area of contention with
Yes.
Craig and getting a lot of crap about what he was saying publicly. But here's the deal. The town board members can talk publicly about general town business, including budgets, projects, sidewalks, bonds, property purchases in general terms, policy disagreements, how they plan to vote, and concerns about transparency of process. If it's something that would normally be discussed in an open meeting, it's fair to speak about publicly. Obviously, they can't talk about personnel details about specific employees, attorney-client privilege, which my opinion is I think that there are things that are run through the lawyer that don't need to be run through the lawyer just for attorney-client privilege so nobody can talk about it. Litigation, union negotiations, um, executive session. Now, and on those emails that get sent, there's a confidentiality statement on the bottom of those emails. And goes for any of you guys too that converse with the board. That footer does not automatically make the email legally confidential. It has no independent legal power. A disclaimer that says this email is confidential does not override New York's Freedom of Information law, open meetings law, or the Constitution. Whether something is actually protected depends on the content of the email, not the footer. If the content is public business and not legally exempt, and it is generally subject to FOIL and not protected because somebody typed confidential. So the simple bottom line, public policy, money projects, opinions, okay to discuss. Private employee details, legal advice, litigation strategy, which speaking of that, I would love to know what's going on with Samantha Long's lawsuit. Union negotiations, et cetera, et cetera. So just so everyone is aware, any town board member can discuss anything that's via email other than those protected items. So to
Mm-hmm.
you board members, don't be scared of retaliation. So every once in a while, more so lately, there's been conversation.
Sorry, dogs.
I think I'm going to do this last. The feasibility study for the water and sewer. Town board was supposed to have that, God, mid to late summer, I think. Didn't happen. And then it got pushed off until December, which I figured that was because the new board was coming in and but it's now March. Nobody knows where the feasibility study is.
Hmm.
So what's the problem? I did hear a rumor. I don't know if it's true. I mean, part of this I do know is true. So in order to when they did the public meeting about this at one of the town board meetings, this woman spoke about how it could be funded, federal grants, um, basically federal grants or low interest rate loans. In order to qualify for the grants, you have to have a certain base income, which means you had to have surveys filled out, which I do know that members of the one of the committees,
Is it the CAC?
I'm not sure, um, was going door to door to try to get people to fill out these surveys, and they were not getting a good response. And the deal is, if you don't get 95% of those surveys back,
Right.
you are not eligible for the grants, which would only, and I mean, based on what's going on now, I don't even know if there'll be any federal grants that were available because a lot of that stuff has been taken away. So, which would only leave, and the price tag at that point when this conversation came up was 14 million. $14 million. That if we didn't meet those requirements with the surveys, is now a low interest loan. But what I did hear yesterday, I don't know if it's true, but they don't have, in order to be able to do it, they now want to branch out because originally it was only the 2022 corridor, and then it got extended up to towards Shaker. Well, now I heard, and this it could be rumor, and I'm going to state that I'm not saying this is fact because I don't know, that they want to do West Street and Cemetery Road because they need more people.
For the,
Correct.
okay,
So I don't know what's going on with the feasibility study. And the last time I talked to the business committee chair, which they're on pause and just focusing on that, he said he did. And that was when Berkshire Bank switched over to Beacon. It was that day because my debit card, my business card wasn't working. I was very mad, very, very mad. So, and I spoke to him, and allegedly they haven't seen it either. So, what the hell's the problem?
yeah,
I mean, we passed a thing to pay the engineer $59,000, which I can only see where we paid them thus far $5,900. But it's interesting because I don't see the additional money in the 2026 budget. So I don't know what's going on with all that. I
hmm,
haven't, I don't know what's going on with that. But where's the feasibility study? What are we
right.
doing? What's the update?
What's happening? What's happening?
Which
Again, everybody's been sitting around, again, wondering
la
things.
la 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 la. Yeah. So I gotta try to decide if I want to do privilege of the floor or if I send an email to the board before the meeting on Tuesday to say, could you give us an update on, the feasibility
Right, right.
study? I have a whole list of things someplace that I have two emails that I want to send. I don't know where it's written down. It's written down someplace. Because like there's a whole lot of things. Like what are the updates on anything? What's the sidewalk update?
Yeah,
Which I did send an email, and as of yesterday, I still hadn't gotten a response, but she did say that I would get one this week, hopefully. Um, yeah, I just don't like that's the problem. Transparency is a problem,
yep.
and it doesn't seem to
We
be,
keep going back to that. So, I mean, that's
yeah.
gotta mean something.
So there has been some, with all of this stuff that's going on, everybody down on this end of the world in West Lebanon and businesses down here, everything happens on on the miracle mile. So there's been some conversation about, oh, let's separate West Lebanon from, town. I actually looked into that, right? So I'm just gonna give you a brief overview on that. Um, if we can't financially stabilize one town, we absolutely can't create two. Our tax base is lower down here. Our high value properties are, well, I mean, I guess it depends on where the line is,
Right.
but we would have to fund, um, we'd have to have an entirely separate government. We'd have to fund a supervisor, mayor, board members, clerk, bookkeeping, attorneys, audits, insurance, elections, IT systems, just the administrative overhead now would just those would be a nightmare. We would still need our own highway department.
Yeah.
We would, I mean, and just the cost of a truck alone, but even
Hmm.
if we contracted it out, right? And everybody's like, oh, the racetrack's got to be paying a ton of money. Well, I looked up their taxes. They're paying less than $10,000 a year in property taxes. I was a little surprised about that, actually.
Yeah, I'm surprised about that.
Now, what I didn't check is to see if it included the drag strip. So I will double check that. But actually, I wrote that down too. They're paying
No, Bentley, stop pointing.
99.61.18. That was their last tax bill, which is paid. So everybody thinks that's a big tax. It's not. Because the trailer
No,
park next door pays, to that pays
I was
$8,800.
just going to say, yeah, they're in the 8 grand.
Yeah. So we would also have to have a fire department, whether we contract that out or we don't. Um, and the important thing, this is really important. None of this eliminates existing obligations. A new municipality would still have to assume its proportional share of debt, long-term liabilities, and any outstanding obligations from the town of Lebanon. When the general fund is already running structural deficits and operating without meaningful unrestricted cushion, dividing the tax base and duplicating government overhead does not fix the problem, it magnifies it. Splitting doesn't create money, it creates two smaller governments trying to pay for the same essential services with fewer resources. However, which now goes into, let's talk about fiscal imbalance. What is that? Interesting topic. Fiscal imbalancement. We're talking about fairness and responsible planning. Fiscal imbalance simply means that tax dollars collected townwide appear to be disproportionately spent in one geographic area, while other areas see limited investment over time. Huh, right? That's what's happening. Like grants, it's great. We try to get grants and stuff for upstreet in regards to helping businesses and stuff, but what about the businesses down here?
Yep.
What about the people down here? We got a Dollar General.
Just happened.
I mean, and like even when the whole apartments come up, it's like, oh, let's shove them down in West Lebanon. How about some streetlights down here in front of the school?
Yeah, there
How
you
about
go.
that? How about we get a school zone sign instead of, oh, crosswalk? So everybody in West Lebanon, Lebanon Springs, and Lebanon, we all contribute to the tax base. They use in the here it's the word is used hamlet, but I don't believe we're a hamlet. But every part of the town contributes to the tax base and deserves to see infrastructure, maintenance, capital improvements, and planning attention reflected in the contribution. It's not about us versus them. It's about whether spending patterns align with the fact that we are one town. And honestly, if you look at our voter base from the last election, the people that voted for me, Craig, Joanne, and Darla, the majority of those votes were in West Lebanon. Fun fact. Why? Because West Lebanon feels like they don't exist. The most responsible way is through data, not emotion. If we look at capital spending over the past years, where have the major projects been located? Where have the grants been concentrated? How many
Oops.
infrastructure upgrades, park improvements, sidewalk projects, or beautification efforts have occurred in each area? Not down here. What portion of the assessed value comes from each area compared to where investments are made? That I don't know. Um, when spending consistently clusters in one corridor or one section of town, even for understandable reasons like grant availability or project momentum, the clustering can gradually create imbalance. It's also important to separate policy patterns from intent. This doesn't require bad motives. Often projects happen where opportunities arise where visibility is highest or where previous investments make the next project easier. But over time, if investment continues to flow in one direction, other parts of town can begin to feel overlooked. This next sentence is really important. When residents feel overlooked year after year, frustration grows and eventually disengagement follows. Civic disengagement is not just a neighborhood issue, it weakens the entire community. Trust erodes, participation drops. That affects everyone. Fill out your damn survey.
Exactly.
It Addressing fiscal imbalance isn't about taking something away from one area, it's about ensuring balance going forward. So it could mean applying an equity lens when pursuing grants or developing 5-year capital plans, which we don't do that. We don't have any future, we don't budget or look at capital plans on a 3 to 5 year basis. We fly by the seat of our pants in October for the next year. 5-year capital plans that map out projects across all section of town. When tax dollars come from the entire town, investment should reflect the entire town. Equity isn't favoritism, it's balance. Fiscal imbalance isn't about blame, it's about making sure that no Hamlet, again, I don't think that's the right word, feels invisible. And honestly, what I just read there is exactly what's happening. But then it goes back to, well, what do you want in West Lebanon? Right? It's like on the flip side of that, be careful what you wish for.
True. True.
So it's hard. It's hard. But yeah, everything is to that end of town. And people get really upset about it because what is West Lebanon getting for their tax dollars?
You're right. You're right.
A Dollar General.
I remember back in the day, Ginny used to have a little store by the
The video
racetrack.
store.
Huh?
The video store?
Yeah. Well, yeah, she used to have little stuff she would sell, but yep.
Yeah. I mean, and then you had the Speedway Diner that everybody went to, especially on race day,
Yes,
that
that
burned
that
down.
place, yeah.
I worked there, man. I made money hand over fist.
Oh, it was busy. It was
Hmm.
busy. And if people didn't go in there and it wasn't their thing, people were still getting takeout from his food. You
Yep.
know, his food was good.
I mean, so we don't even have any
Oh, I
eateries
don't
down
know.
here. We don't, and the town just, I mean, I'm sorry. I will die on this hill. The town makes things really difficult for businesses.
Hmm.
I will die on that hill. Um, and we talk about the problems. We just need to figure out solutions. I don't know what that is. How about you guys out there? You got any solutions? And fill out your
Let
damn
us know.
survey.
Hello, my world is about to get noisy.
Okay. Well, I think that's about it for today.
All right.
So thanks for hanging out. We will see you
Next
next
board
week.
meeting,
Board
next
meeting
week's
is next
video.
Tuesday.
Right.
So
So we will have a video out
on Tuesday.
Tuesday and then again on Thursday.
Right. So thank you for your time.
The dogs are saying goodbye.